Hello, my name's Joe McPhee, and this is the Manitoba Baseball Hall of Fame inductee profiles. And my guest today is Lloyd Brown. Lloyd was born in 1930 in Virden, and he started with Virden in the late 40s as a ball player. In his first senior game, he had 3 hits against the touring Muskogee Cardinals. He moved to Brandon and played for the Brandon Mental Hospital Athletics Cloverleafs. He helped the Cloverleafs win 4 CMBA titles from 1957 to 60. In the MSBL, he hit .444 in 1961 and .414 in 1962 and was an all-star second baseman. In 1970, he helped form the Westman Bison League and then rejoined the Cloverleafs in 1975. He served over 10 years as an MSBL director and 3 from 1985 to 88 as the league's president. Inducted into the MBA Honor Society in 1989, and he was inducted into the Manitoba Baseball Hall of Fame in 2001. Welcome, Lloyd.
Thank you very much, Joe. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Now, tell me about starting your baseball career in Virden.
Well, I was born and raised, as you mentioned, in Virden, and in those days there was no minor league baseball as we know it today.
Okay.
So you either played high school ball or senior ball. There was nothing in between.
Right.
So I was lucky enough when I was 16 to kind of crack the senior ball club.
And that would have been...
That would be the Virden.
Virden.
Virden Ball Club.
Yeah.
That's the name of it.
But that was before MSBL days.
That was, yes, this was 1946.
Oh, yes.
So this was
okay.
a little bit before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good. So back then, tournaments was the big thing to do. Did you go travel a lot to different tournaments?
Traveled a lot. Everybody had big tournaments. In 1946-47, the war was just over.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a lot of ball players coming back. And so there was great ball. Every small town had a great ball club.
Yeah.
And tournaments were every day of the week if you wanted to participate.
Okay. Where were some of the favorite tournaments you used to
Well,
go?
Moosomin, Saskatchewan was a big one.
Yeah.
And back later on, Neepawa was always a big tournament, July 1st.
Okay.
Basically every town, Kenton, they all had good baseball teams and good tournaments.
And did you manage to make a lot of money at those tournaments?
A lot of money, be $100, $100 a day, I guess, for the whole ball club. But this town of Neepawa always had a good tournament when the late Dick McKenzie was around, and,
right.
and it was just something to behold to come out here and play ball.
Okay.
And crowds were great.
Yeah. So what took you to Brandon then?
Well, when you finish high school, you have to go and get a job. So I was lucky enough to get a job in Brandon, and moved to Brandon in 1952 and played with the Mental Hospital League, which Frank Purdy was one of our chuckers, Dr. Frank Purdy.
Yeah.
And went from there, we formed the athletics, the Brandon Athletics, and joined the South Central League.
Okay.
And in 1957, I was recruited by the Cloverleafs to go play with them. So the rest is history.
Yeah, good. So it's ever since then you've been involved with the Cloverleafs.
Yes, I have.
Yeah,
yes,
great.
in some way or another.
Yeah.
50 plus years.
Well, the Cloverleafs have a great history, of course,
they do.
of being one of the inaugural team in the MSBL, 1961, and
That's
still
right.
there.
Yeah, still there.
Yeah.
Still going strong.
Now you had a brilliant career in the MSBL when it started, but you retired early, or just?
I retired because of work pressures.
Okay.
I guess it sounds like a cop-out today, because I wouldn't let guys do that today. But I had a young family, and I had a house, and I was on the road quite a bit with my job, and I just couldn't dedicate enough time. So I would pinch hit and do a little coaching with the ball club, but I only played officially 2 years in the league, 61 and 62.
Okay. Now, what position did you play?
I was originally a third baseman.
Yeah.
And I came up with the athletics as a third baseman, but I moved to second base because they said, hey, we need strength up the middle, Brownie, so we're going to put you over there. So there's not many third basemen or second basemen as tall as I am, but I made the grade.
Good.
And I remember talking to Brooks Robinson one day when he was out for a function in Brandon. He said, I've never seen a taller second baseman than you. But he was 6'2" himself.
Right,
so.
and he started as a second baseman, actually.
So I said, well, you got to go where the need is, Brooks. So I stayed there, and I was happy. You know, I really enjoyed second base.
Good. Now you racked up a couple of high averages in the MSBL in your first couple of seasons there. Now were you type of hitter were you? Were you yourself a contact hitter or a power hitter? Or?
Well, I guess I originated the shift in Brandon because Dauphin and Hamiota both used to play the right field shift.
Okay.
Move the third baseman over to shortstop, and shortstop over to second.
You were a left-handed.
I was left-handed hitter, dead pull hitter.
Okay. So. Good. So you must have found a few holes in that shift.
Yeah, there was a few holes in there. Yeah. Yeah, they're right.
Yeah. Well, you've been involved. It must be some changes you've seen on the field in the game, have you, since you played?
I was an advocate of getting rid of the metal bats.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I was always afraid there was going to be a pitcher, or a third baseman, or a first baseman hurt very seriously with the metal bat. Because as you know, with a pitch coming in at 80, 90 miles an hour and going back 20 miles an hour faster than it came in, those guys were pretty vulnerable.
Exactly. And
I recall a game, I shouldn't say, I remember, but I remember playing Dauphin at Kinsman Stadium. Neil Amy was pitching, and they had us down 9-2, and I was lucky enough to hit a line drive back at Neil Amy and hit him right over the heart with a wooden bat. It wasn't a metal bat, and he dropped like a stone, and I thought he was dead. And we went on to win the game 10-9 after that. Once we got rid of him,
he couldn't continue pitching.
No, he couldn't. Yeah. That was pretty scary. And that was a wooden bat.
Right.
So metal bats were worse. And I don't believe I ever used a metal bat.
No.
So I'm happy they got rid of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
And I'm happy to see other teams in other sports, maybe the AA, go back to wooden bats.
Now, you brought along your glove and ball here. You want to tell me about that?
Oh, thanks. I thought you'd never
ask.
Got
a name?
I thought you'd never ask. 1958, this is probably the first A2000, Wilson A2000, ever in Brandon.
Wow.
And I liked the Wilson equipment. And I bought this in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, when I was down taking in some ball games. And I paid $21.95 for it. And brought it back home, and I've had it ever since, and it's worn out from the inside, as you can see.
Okay.
So it's just been my love and joy for 50 years.
Wonderful. Yeah, that's a true ball fan.
It's a true ball
player to keep this glove all these years. Now, where'd that cleat go to?
This cleat?
Yeah.
This is, as everybody will attest, I wasn't the most fleet one on the bases. But I bought these spikes in Chicago at the same time as I bought the glove in Milwaukee. They're genuine kangaroo. I thought that would make me faster, but it didn't. And they got more rips and tears on them and cuts. And I recall a time when I was on first base and they're holding me on. I don't know why. But I stepped on the first baseman's foot. And he started limping and jumping around on one leg. And I said, well, what's wrong? He said, well, you spiked me. So I took my shoe off and showed him. And the spikes are worn down to the leather. And I said, that would never cut you. He said, oh, yeah, I didn't realize that, Brownie. He said, I said, okay now. But those have been a great shoe. And they were stretched. They're only a size 10, and now I take a size 12. But it's a pretty good thing. So they're kind of my pride and joy, Joe.
Wonderful. Well, wonderful memories there.
Yeah, they are.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
This has been Joe McPhee for the Manitoba Baseball Hall of Fame inductee profiles, and my guest has been Lloyd Brown.
Thank you.